Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, it's Sunday. It's my last day of my weekend this week. I got a really short one because we're going back to work and continuing our maintenance cycle at work. And I am going to spend the rest of this day, I think, working on those shelves for my surround system that we're going to be installing over the next few days. So let's get going on that. Alright, so we got all the oak paneling bonded to the back plates right now. Now all we got to do is just kind of clean it up a little bit, and I'm just going to do that with the table saw here. As I mentioned yesterday, I kind of cut these all a little large, knowing that I would be trimming it off. And when you have something like this, you kind of want to have this be nice and flush, and you're never going to hit that exactly. So I intentionally cut them a little large, and then I can put them on the table saw and cut across the whole thing, and it'll be a nice smooth line there. It also kind of gets rid of the glue gunk that kind of squirts out of the side. So let's get that going. Alright, so we got these all cut off nice and flush now. This whole edge all the way around is nice and smooth. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the edge pieces on there so you don't end up seeing the layer between the real oak and the plywood, because that's going to look horrible. They call it finishing, but in reality what it is just covering up everything that makes the project look horrible. Alright, so I got the sides now on each of the shelf pieces. I've intentionally, as usual, cut them a little bit long, because what I'm going to do is, once I get this all glued and get the glue all set in here, I'm going to run it through the table saw again, and that'll get this and this to be perfectly flush. Then when I'm done, like I said, I cut it a little bit wide here intentionally too. I'll run that flush cut router bit that I showed you that we use to remove the top level of the desk. I'll run that over there and make that nice and flush. Then we're going to round the edges, and we're going to put the front on and round the edges on that, and we're going to do that with all four of them. But like I said, right now we're kind of in a pause moment here where we got to stop and wait for the glue to dry. So I'm not going to give this one the full amount of time that I gave the last one, where we waited 18 hours. But we'll give this like an hour or two to dry, and then we'll come back and finish this off. Alright, so we've given this basically an hour, maybe a little bit more to dry. I've got all the clamps off. Everything looks really good. Like I said, this is not a smooth edge. This thing is probably sticking up about 1 millimeter or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through each one of these through the table saw, just to cut this off and get this all nice and a smooth edge, so that I can put the face plate that goes on the front of that, and there won't be any gaps in there. Alright, so I got everything trimmed off now, so it's nice and smooth here and here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the front piece on each of these. I'm not actually going to put a back piece on there because don't really need it. It's going to be against the wall and nobody's going to see that. But I will put the front piece on, and we're going to attach that with glue the same way we attached everything else. Alright, so I got the front glued on now, and we're going to let that just kind of get clamped into place, and we'll pick this up again I think tomorrow. Kind of getting towards the end of the day, and we're going to let this dry overnight. But the next step now I need to do is kind of smooth off some of these edges. I'm going to do that with a router. I'm going to round off the corners so it isn't sharp. We're going to get it real smooth, and then once we do that, we got to sand it and make sure the whole thing is looking really good, because, you know, we got a few dings and a little schmutz on the wood itself, but we can get that off with some sandpaper, and then we stain it and polyurethane coat it, and this will be ready to go. Alright, so I just jumped a couple steps ahead here. I thought this was kind of getting a little slow and tedious, so I've basically gone through here now, and I've routed off all the edges to make it smooth. I rounded the corners there so there aren't any sharp edges, because there was a lot of sharp edges before, and basically just did a general overall sanding just to get everything smooth and look like it's ready to go. So I think the next step now is we are going to get ready to do our staining on this, and I'm kind of looking forward to this. I haven't done a real staining project now in well over a year, so I think we're going good here. I think these pieces look really nice now. and will look good when we hang them on the wall here. Maybe got to do a little bit more sanding on that one. Looks like there's a little bit of gunk on the edge, but actually that's the back edge, so that doesn't really matter. This is the side that matters on this one. So yeah, I think that'll be fine. But yeah, what we've got is we've got two identical pieces here. This is going to be the two shelves for the cable box and the DVD player. The slightly larger one is going to be the shelf for the tuner, and then ultimately this is going to be the shelf for the center speaker that'll go right under the TV. So this is going to go right under the TV. The tuner will probably go on one side of the center speaker, and the DVD and the cable box will go on the other side. So like I said, next step is to get ready to stain this, and I think we're going to probably do that in our next episode. Like I said, I jumped ahead a little bit on this because it was getting a little slow, but hope you approve of that. And so yeah, there we go. So next step, like I said, is to stain it and put the polyurethane coating, and I think we'll do that in our next episode. So that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night. And of course, we always have to have a little bit of a parting shot with the kitties here, because you all seem to enjoy that. So this is for you. Bite and Nibble are taking a little nap. This is one of their kind of favorite places to chill. Although I looked at I looked at Nibble, she was in that little thing this morning. But they're all just back here cuddling all by themselves now. Got a lot of sleeping to do now, so you can be up and bounding around and making a lot of noise tonight, right? Yeah, that's how it always works, doesn't it? Say goodbye, Bite and Nibble.
Goodbye, Bite and Nibble.